can't tell you. I have this screenplay, Maji. I got to give to you. I don't know if you read my screenplay. Wrangler, I know, has read it.
I've read it. I still need to go back and read that again with the music.
Oh yeah, I have a
At
little.
least
It's like a
those
little playback.
scenes, I want to go back and
Oh,
check them out again while listening to the tune.
there's
The
something
thing's
else.
not gonna get
Okay.
really made because it's like copyright. It's passion project. It's future stuff. Anyway, I have a teenage girl and a teenage boy as my main characters in that. I wanted to give that to you and see how well you think their dialogue works. And there's a lot of dialogue because it's a script basically. So you get a little scene and then all dialogue.
I
Here's the.
liked their
You probably
philosophical and
I'd have to
spiritual banter.
right at the insane asylum. It's a pretty nice little place to put it.
Oh no, they kind of did it a little bit here and there
Oh,
throughout the
and
whole
at the
story.
bedroom. Yeah, at the bedroom. Yeah, all right, thanks.
I'll be right back.
But that took me
We'll be here.
the first iteration of writing that Maji was it. It started out as like basically a spite thing to Disney. Like surely I could write something better than them. Like let me just hash something out in 3 weeks. Surely I'm a better writer. I wanted to prove
Mhm.
myself to them. And sure enough, the first thing I thought of was everyone breaks in the field with a horror slasher, like a horror movie. It's like one of the basic things to do, like Blair Witch, Scream, like anything like that. So I thought serious, and then I'm a fan of Evil Dead, so I could throw in comedy. But anything that I started out just evolved into this final project, which just turned into urban fantasy, like an action urban fantasy. It's like completely different from its own thing. But while I was writing it, I probably read it too many times that I like. I'm glad I'm actually forgetting it now because oh my gosh. And I had to go through like 6 drafts of it probably. I can't remember before I finally settled with what I got. And I'm still not satisfied. Like I'll go back and if I read something like that, it could be different. I'm still finding errors. But luckily, it's just passion project screenplay that was proving myself as a writer and seeing that I progressed over time, and the end result ended up well. Wrangler, you liked it, right? Right?
Yeah,
You liked it.
for the most part, I still don't know what to do with that ending.
That's the point, though. It's a
But
it's a
that
Halloween
I know
it's a
that's the
Halloween
point.
movie,
I
so it's
can't
supposed to
down the
like.
ending because that's a fitting ending for this type of story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
the last time I read one of your stories, Trippy, how it ended, I couldn't tell if the what how it left me going.
it's
Wait, what?
also that.
Couldn't
It's
tell
Is
one
if
of
it
this
my
was
the
MOs.
fun, if it was
is this the
real, if
one with the
it
car on
was
the winding road?
yes.
I know.
I
I think
don't.
that
I'm
might
not
be
a
my
fan of those
MO.
kind of endings, but those kind of
Yeah.
endings, Trippy, you are so good at.
Thank you. If I'm good at it, I should probably do it, right?
When I say I'm not a fan of that kind of ending, it's not as an insult. Like if
Yeah,
you
it's a
find
subjective
somebody who
taste.
doesn't like chocolate, you could offer them the best chocolate bar in the world. You're not going to get a positive opinion out of them. They could say, "Yeah, I'm sure it's good quality, but it's not my thing."
The fact that say it's influencing you, it's making you feel something, is a positive feedback on me because it's doing what it's supposed to do.
It, it's making my brain twist into pretzels.
You know what it reminded me
It's
of?
trippy, isn't it?
Do you remember
No.
the back in Trippy might just because him and I are roughly the same age. Um, the scary stories to tell in the dark series. There were
Are you afraid of the
basically,
dark?
huh?
Was
The Are you
you
afraid of the
talking about
dark?
a book
The
series?
Yeah,
or
no, the
the
book
TV?
series is called Scary
Uh
Stories to Tell in the Dark.
no, I know the
Um,
TV series. Are you afraid of the dark? They probably like got it
yeah.
from that though.
Well,
Yeah,
the
that
way
was.
you write sounds like because it's a bunch of little short stories compiled together in 3 separate books. They're all horror based stories, but for kids. The way you write kind of goes right there, just the adult version of them. You should check it out. You might actually enjoy them.
Yeah, they did a movie on that
Yeah,
not
but
too
the
long
movie
ago,
sucks.
and that was a really. I thought it was a good movie.
What's it called? Scary stories to
Scary
tell in the
stories
dark.
to tell in the dark.
Scary stories to tell in the dark. I like the ring to it. All right, I gotta check it out. Thank you.
But yeah, it sounds the way you write. It feels like the adult version of these. These are designed for kids, but the way it makes you go, wait, what?
That's the thing. I don't even know if that's my writing style yet. Like I'm not even amateur. I'm rookie. Like I'm just starting. This is why I'm like, well, hanging out with other authors like the Hedge up here, who has a book. So buy his book. And buy books. Sorry, buy his
My
books.
books.
Books. Buy books. Buy his
Books.
books.
Oh, jeez.
Please.
Plural.
It's
Wife up.
As to learn how to like improve my new craft because I'm
yeah.
almost done
I
consuming
think
media. I want to
yeah,
produce
that's.
it.
I don't recommend books to people because I know I have an oddball taste, but I actually think for like it's scarier and more serious than Goosebumps, but for your style just reminds me a lot of that, but more adult versions.
Tim Allen
Focus on
says
that.
original Evil Dead and the first sequel are just downright filthy goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrew Campbell says, I do enjoy a good twist ending that makes you have to reread from a different perspective. You will definitely find that with Trippy's writing, no doubt.
It's
And
It's
layered.
like
to
this
give
the
you an
first
idea
time you
how,
see The Sixth Sense.
yeah,
There's hints.
to-
I'm giving you hints.
to give you an idea how good he is at this kind of writing, and just believe it or not, your writing in general, Trippy, not just your poetry, but you, the way you write just in your short stories. Even though I'm not a fan of that kind of ending, but just so because you're so good at it, the way you write, if you wanted to write something in my universe, I'd let you.
Oh, thanks, man. No, I think no, hit me up for if you want to do dialogue and bounce dialogue off me with some of your characters, because I think that Iron Age should be well, it is about collaboration. Everyone is collaborating right now. I think what's his name? Neutron Bore is already doing a lot of commission art for someone and then for people, and he got MD Bonjour to do. He's got a cover for his next book coming out, and they're all collaborating right here. So it's like no reason why we shouldn't collaborate and write together, bounce dialogue.
Well, yeah,
Sell
I
some
got
voice
my
actors going
fast
around.
travel system from you. You
Oh,
know,
there's also that already. I just need to get a new mic. I'm really need to pitch in my hat as the voice actor for narrator stuff like that because obviously I have fun doing it and I got a little knack for it. If you haven't noticed, I like to do my voices in my role play, my
yeah,
tabletop role
right.
plays. You know, little characters' voices going on.
Yeah,
Variety
Tim
of them.
Allen. Tim Allen asks, "How many of you have read Tad Williams' Sorrow, Memory, and Thorn book series?"
Doesn't
Never heard of
sound
them.
familiar.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that either. This is the first time hearing of it. Also, keep in mind, I'm a bad reader. I went years without reading a book. Then I wrote one, and now I'm reading a whole bunch again out of nowhere. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I will very quickly reach the point where I've read more Iron Age books than traditionally published books, and the vast
I think
majority
I
of the
get that.
traditionally published books I've read were mostly R.A. Salvador, some Michael Crichton, and a few other odds and ends.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the
And
thing.
yeah, I
I'm
read
not.
Harry Potter.
I'm not gonna go to New York bestseller books now after being betrayed by the corporate media that's shoveling out in Hollywood and everything. You know, everything's commercialized crap. So if I get New York bestseller, that's obviously a friend of a friend that wrote some crap book that was able to slap this thing on. And hey, no, I want to find
Well,
actual writers. I want to find the
apparently
soul of
it's
writing.
very easy to set up a New York bestseller.
It's Iron
I
Age.
don't know. I never went by those lists anyway.
Yes.
When I did start reading in my 20s, I would walk into Borders and just browse the shelves in the fantasy and sci-fi sections until I found
Test.
something
There we go.
interesting.
Hey,
There we are. We hear a
Okay,
hedge.
yeah, I had it on mute. I couldn't figure out how to turn off mute
You had a
on the
little
actual
boomer moment.
headset.
Boomer
actually,
moment.
Herman, you know the how to set up a New York bestseller.
Yeah, you got to
Don't you?
sell. You have to sell. You have to sell like like X number of books in a week.
In a week. Well, what's the X? And who
I think
determines
it's like
what X is?
I think it's like about 7,000 in a week or something like that.
Oh,
But here's the other thing too.
I'm a little shy of that right now.
It's a curated list. So if they don't like
Mhm.
you, even if you've sold 1 million copies,
you don't
you're
get
not
on
getting
the
on
list.
there.
Well, that's the thing with social media. Like, if you're friends of friends and you're really popular and you're in the it crowd, you can, and you're on Facebook, you can
You
easily get
better have
like
a lot of friends,
well, yeah, and be
and
I'm
they
famous
take
screwed.
people.
and they take their sources from, I think it's BookScan.
So I'm saying, being
So
friends of the friends that know the friends to get into that
yeah,
group of
well,
friends and have
like I
actually
said,
a good product.
you
Hopefully.
better have a lot of friends.
Nope,
So
I do it all by myself.
and there's been some controversies where they've caught people like buying 10,000 copies of their own book just so that they could get on the just so that they could get on the rankings.
Yeah.
And that's not unusual. And then so the New York Times, it's New York Times, there's a USA Today list, and then there's the Amazon lists. And by and large, if you're going to try and become a quote bestseller, your fastest way of doing that is finding a niche genre in Amazon, and then somehow sell enough books so that you hit the bestseller rank for at least a week, and then you can say you were a best-selling author.
Sounds like
But
gambling.
a little. And as
That
far as I'm
sounds-
concerned,
Oh.
your best bet is I've always been an advocate of old school, ground game, pound the pavement, get the fans and build your tribe the old way, and they'll stick with you longer than people who buy your stuff because it's a bestseller.
Agreed. That's how it works.